Dust on the rails, shadow of the chain. Heart keeps beating, but it don't feel the same. How many miles can a man still crawl before he ain't no man at all? Oh, shadow, shadow of the chain, dragging my soul through the dirt and the rain. Shadow, shadow of the chain, break it, but it stays the same. Moonlight's laughing on the devil's face. Every step forward feels like a disgrace. Hands on my back, pushing me down. Voice in my head says, don't make a sound. Can't find the end of this road. Can't find the place where the pain lets go. Oh, shadow, shadow of the chain, dragging my soul through the dirt and the rain. Shadow, shadow of the chain, break it, but it stays the same. Dust on my tongue, blood on my shoes. Every turn I take feels like I lose. Oh Lord, I'm calling your name, but I'm still trapped in the shadow of the chain. Shadow of the chain. Shadow, 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 shadow of the chain. Break it, but it stays the same.
Not like Jack and break it. So play. English way. Hey here, dude.
One and ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, podcasters, welcome to the dark side of said podcast. There you go. I've still got a little bit of a delay on my thing. Sorry, man. Podcast, your home for rational crypto news and objectivity, leaving emotion at the door, talking about what we like, why we like it, and where we see it going. We are not offering financial advice. We are telling you what we do, and that is all. We don't slow down. We don't let up. Full speed is our only speed. I'm your host, Scott, pragmatic investor who has won and lost fortunes. Joining me, as always, the greatest producer of all time, the one, the only, the original, the mighty Bell. How are you doing tonight, Bell?
You know what? I'm researching some more really scary statistics. So, yeah, data breach industry is just getting worse.
Yeah,
Yay!
and it's gonna be a good time. All right, so we got a couple things for you guys tonight. I want to give you a nice Sigea dev update. If you're using Sigea and testing for us, thank you very much. 50 gigabytes for the life of the protocol. As long as we're alive, you're alive, and thank you for testing. If you're not testing Sigea but would like to, hit up Sofa Ninja or simply send an email to contact@sigea-cloud.io. That is contact, the word contact at sigea-cloud.io. Knock yourself out. We've begun migrating over to sigea-cloud.io, finally getting off from the test net. There's not much there right now, but if you actually go to sigea-cloud.io, now at least something shows up. So I'm going to take another round of applause for that. It's tough, guys. It is tough building 3 platforms at the same time. That's what we've been doing this entire trip here, is building 3 platforms at the same time. That's Android, that's iOS, and that is web. And getting encryption keys to share between all of these platforms at the same time, and it's kind of a Herculean task. But the Reach team is up to it, and it's kind of funny. See, what it works is that we give them money and they build what we ask them to build. Isn't that a novel concept, Bell? That we simply pay people and they do what they're being paid for. It's kind of cool.
It's shocking.
Well, I know that's not really the crypto way. Crypto way is to get a big ass $7 or $8 million raise and then spend the next 2 or 3 years out selling your token, hitting the crypto conferences, living the life, big cars, big house, big food, all that other good stuff. And at the end, when you've burned off all your runway, you just you just absolutely dump on anybody who's believed your bullshit up till now. We're doing a little differently. But it turns out that if you were to go the traditional method and just say, hey, we'll give you money and you build what we ask, that it works out. So it's kind of funny how that goes. We do got a dev update for you. I'll let you guys know where we are. Again, if you're testing, thank you. If you haven't, please get involved. We also had a board meeting today of Sigea Cloud Labs. I'm not going to get into the nuance of that. If you would like to hear everything that we discuss, petition to join the board of Sigea Cloud. We will discuss it. And if you make the cut, welcome aboard. You're probably not gonna, but I don't know. I don't know what you know. You know, if you could bring me 15,000 customers, welcome to the board of directors of Sigea Cloud, because Bella and I understand what drives value and how to accrue it. And it seems like we're kind of on a lonely island out here in the crypto world, but what can you do? For crypto chicken, yes, what was in the bottle tonight? This is actually kind of a funny story. I'll share this one with you. So this is, I was intrigued by the label. This one is called Redwood Empire. It would be, I think, hang on, I can't see. I ain't got my glasses, guys. Give me a second here. Redwood Empire. Most people are on the world. They're not in it. And that was a quote by John Muir. Emerald Giant Rye Whiskey, bottled in Sonoma County, California. Now, why is that funny? It's funny because when we were on our way back from Shreveport, I stopped. It was at a Quick Trip of all places. I just needed gas. It was pissing down rain. I mean, I'm driving on the freeway at like 30 miles an hour. My hazard lights on. Windshield wipers going as fast as they can. I still couldn't see shit. Belle does the funniest thing. She grabs the armrest. She grabs the armrest on the door whenever she gets panicked, as if this 3/4-ton fully loaded Chevy, that her great female strength is going to be able to keep her in that seat if I was to run into a semi-truck or something out there. But she does it every time. So it got to the point where I was jigging the wheel just to watch her grab it. I was like, "Are you awake? You're awake." Yeah, I was doing all that. But
okay, it wasn't you that I was grabbing the crap stick over.
Mhm.
It was the semis.
Okay. Well, whatever it is, you know what? You can grab that armrest all day.
I know.
I assure you, you're not strong enough that's going to hold you in place. But I stopped at a Quick Trip. I needed gas, but mostly just to get out of the goddamn rain. And they had like a dozen bottles of this stuff, and they were all marked half off for 18. So I bought one just kind of on a lark. I was like, sure, I'll try it. You know, I like bourbon. You never know. And now that I've tasted it, which, by the way, it is very, very mature taste. It is very, very oaky. It is very, very smoky. I can't really ping the notes. Bell's better at that than I am, but it's very tasty. Had I known, I would have bought them all. They had about a dozen bottles on there. I would have bought them all, and we would have just filled all the racks back here, because there's nothing back here but toys and booze. But I could have filled up the racks with those. It is kind of that good. I was enjoying it. So anyway, guys, we're going to take a little bit of a journey tonight. And I'm not shitting all over crypto, even because I've been doing that for years and years and nobody listened. And but I am going to kind of get into what makes a token a token. Now, before we go, I have no doubt whatsoever in my mind that I'm going to be successful in my investments. I'm not going to say what those investments are, but I got to hunch you guys know if you've been watching this show for any length of time, because we actually understand the app chain thesis. And the important part of the app chain thesis is apps. That's it. It is absolutely apps. The world hasn't quite caught on yet. They're still talking hype and Aster and all these other things that are just going to the moon right now, right? Because they do nothing. But if everybody's buying it, token go up, tech must be good. So even though when you go and look at the tech, you see that it's simply a smart contract. But the fun thing about coming out of a bubble is the convoluted financial products that tend to accompany something like this, because people want to keep the hype going. They want to keep the drive going. I can look around the DeFi and still find 150, 250, 350% APR virtually everywhere. And that seems reasonable to people because we had it before. And even though it absolutely bled down flat, buried everybody, but because it existed at one time, and it worked for a very brief time, that would just suggest that it will work again. And that's absolutely not the case. But the thing that does work, and that has worked throughout the history of mankind, is solving problems. Now, where Web3 bricked it, and they're continuing to brick it. Even now, I know, I got it. Yeah, we got Bitcoin and Ethereum. But even now, we just simply continue to brick it. The proper application of blockchain technology is solving Web 2 problems using blockchain technology. That's the proper application of it. But Web 3 doesn't quite see it that way. Web 3 likes to dream up a problem, solve it. Solve a problem that is only a problem that was just, dreamt up, and then launch a token and say, hey, look at us. Look at this problem that we solved. But it's never been a problem. It's never been a problem. It's almost mob tactics at that point. Hey, this is a nice place you got here. It'd be a shame if something was to happen to it. It's almost mafia tactics that we used out here. Instead of actually using decentralization and blockchain technology for what it should be used for, we dream up problems, we solve them, then we go and get raises, and then we go out and convince the world that it's a problem. Now, obvious problems don't need a whole hell of a lot of explanation. Now, for us, it was privacy and security. That's what I see as an obvious problem. So it's a very, very easy solution to build out over in the blockchain world, because we do have a layer of anonymity out here, meaning that even though something's in there by a wallet, we don't know whose name is on the wallet. All right, there's your privacy. There's your privacy. And the security is just kind of more or less second to none. Now, infra right now, I actually consider more valuable. I have for this entire time, but I consider it a lot more valuable than DeFi from Web3 hackers, because Web3 hackers are not going to actively and aggressively go after infra because there's no money out here. Because people built it and nobody came. So there's no money here. They're not trying to do that. They're hacking DEXs. They're hacking wallets. They're hacking all of the other stuff that exists out there in the DeFi world that has this, the big, bright, swirly lights and the Batman logos and the look at me. So they are pushing their efforts over that way. They're not pushing them over this way. So not only do we have the wonderful level of anonymity, but we have an increased layer of security, because nobody's trying to hack into this stuff. And they won't, They're not going to until something out here, until an infra project out here goes to a $50 billion market cap. Nobody's coming after it. At Cash, you're pretty safe. Jackal, you're very safe. Render, you're safe. Filecoin, nobody's messing with it. They want the tokens. They want the money. They don't want the data. So you almost get a double layer of security on this. And I know I used the treasure map analogy yesterday. I'm going to use it again today. What we're doing out here with Sigea Cloud is we're giving you a treasure map with no X on it. Go find it. You have to find the data before you can even start to batter down the walls. And I know I'm repeating this, but I'm going to do it over and over and over because I want to make sure that the message really, really gets in there. That's why we have this level of confidence about what we are doing and what we are building. And because we analyzed and found a problem that is a real world problem. I actually got to thinking about that today. How come more people aren't concerned about this? Because we understand that this is a big tech issue. People trust Apple, man. They trust Google. They trust all of these big tech providers. And these big tech providers are not going to discuss this. They're not even going to mention the word privacy, because it basically decimates their entire business model, because their business model is not built on privacy. Their business model completely exists on visibility, not privacy. They want your data. They want to make it as cheap as they possibly can for you to get your data up to them, because that is their money shot. Now, the world is starting to move on. Bit by bit, the world is starting to move on. Man, I give you the UK. I will literally give you, look what is happening out there in the UK right now. These are obvious problems. I mean, big and bold and obvious social problems. But I don't see Web3, which is an obvious solution for this, really stepping up and saying, hey, we can fix this. We can fix this. Nobody's doing that. There's not even echoes of people doing that. So that's why it gives me a lot more confidence in what we're doing and where we are doing it particularly. That comes back around to my large investments, because you're giving us so much first mover advantage on this that even by the time you realize that there's money to be made over here, we've already secured the lion's share of the market. You're basically, you ceded the ground to us. You said, no, we don't want that. You guys go ahead and do your thing. So yeah, it just makes me more and more confident. And again, we did have a board meeting. We did discuss this. We're full speed ahead, guys. All right. There is no question in our minds whatsoever what we're doing, why we're doing it, how we're doing it, or any of that other good stuff. So all right. Anyway, I did. Belle, go ahead and ask a question or something while I pull up this, because I want to give a development update. I said I would. So if you could, Belle, what you got?
All right, Sigea fan, I'm sitting here looking at all the cool stuff in the background. It is looking pretty fantastic.
I appreciate that, man. I do. We've been me and Belle built this thing up together, and we've kind of been around. We spent some time looking at it. What should we do? How should we do it? Make it comforting, make it homey. How should we do the lighting? Just a lot of discussions that we put on this stuff. So, and this is clearly the end result. All right, Belle, one more, and then I'm going to go ahead and get to the dev update.
Sigea fan again. Trust the big providers? There's no trust there other than trusting that they will take all of my info and sell it to everyone all the time.
Yeah, and that's their business model. This is why they're not discussing this. This is why they don't bring up privacy. This is why they don't bring up any of this stuff. That's why they apologize for hacks instead of trying to prevent them in the first place, because they're doing the same goddamn thing. But people listen to brands. So even though little Scott out here in his little bitty studio with his little bitty co-host, we're out here laying out the entire case for all of this stuff, but no one's listening. You know why? Because I don't have Apple on my shirt, because I'm not Google, because I'm not any of these major providers that are absolutely bending you over day after day after day. It's not in their interest to change it, and it won't be in their interest to change it until a competitor, somebody large enough, comes up and starts to chunk away market share. Then they're going to have that discussion. All right. We'll get back to the rest of it, guys. Let me give you a real quick summary, and then I'll get into it. Now, this is Sigea Cloud. all three of our platforms now support onboarding, and they've been doing this for a while. We're just, again, I wrote this up for the board of directors, but file capture, photos, videos, uploads, anything that's considered object storage. We handle PDFs just fine. I think I sent out the digital Bible to a few people. Android is live. With PayPal and APK rollout. iOS, that's us, has full client-side encryption. Now, this is both AES 128 and 256 with thumbnails and user selection. Now, Bell and I are actually not on the network now, so if you tried to share any files with us, we won't get them. We're over on the dev server because I need to see what my devs are seeing as they're seeing it. I can't wait. I need to see this shit right now. So we're actually off our own network and we're over in the dev network. So yeah, if there's problems over on the regular network, I can't see them either. Please report them. We have a feedback channel, but with thumbnails, and we're ready to launch as soon as the payment setup is complete. Platform status, Android is done. Onboarding, capture PayPal integration, and the APK is rolled out. Pending, this is the last little bit that we have over there. We had to change up the workflow a little bit to get the 128 in there on Android. So currently our encryption is a little bit sketchy, but I'm sure you guys understand that this is an exclusive access type thing now, exclusive early access. We're going to be switching things off and on until we dial it in, so just be advised. iOS, done. Onboarding captured. Client-side encryption, 128 and 256. Thumbnail and user selection. Now, this is kind of important. We told you that we were going to offer this up to you guys. If you go with AES 256, it's an option for us. That's our default configuration is AES 256, and that's client-side. That's on your phone. By the way, it beats the ever-loving hell out of your phone, but privacy comes at a cost, but it doesn't matter. There's absolutely no option for us to show you thumbnails or any kind of file content using AES 256. There's simply no path for it. AES 128 has been in existence for about 50 years. I know people don't really think back that far. Nothing existed back then. I assure you it did. And AES 128 has been out for about 50 years. So there were plenty of options to be able to utilize AES 128, continue to maintain client-side encryption, and be able to show you a thumbnail. Now, you can see the thumbnail. We can't see the thumbnail. If we could see the thumbnail, we could see the image. So our servers, we could never see it, but we're just saying that there was a path available with 128 to be able to show you your content on these devices. By default, we're 256, always 256. We'll never move off from that, but you have an option to use 128. Now, for me, I'm using 128 exclusively. I trust it. 256 is considered quantum resistant. That's it's almost tongue-in-cheek when they talk about it. It's considered quantum resistant. Nothing is quantum resistant. All right, all quantum needs is time, and they're going to crack absolutely anything. I don't consider my personal data so valuable that I would need to wrap it in the AES 256. It gets a layer of it anyway. As soon as it goes through the S3 and lands on Jackal, it gets an additional layer of AES 256. That's baked into the service level agreement on the protocol. That cannot be altered. But for my side of it, what I care most about is when do I get my little pop-ups on my little app on my little phone that says the file upload has been complete. AES 128 is about 35% faster than AES 256. So I'm fine with it because I know it gets another layer on the other side. But yeah, that's integrated into iOS, and you guys are good to go. For the web app, we're waiting for one more piece. The web app is fully more or less operational. Now, I'm going to admit that it could use some pizzazz, but we want to make it work, and then we will make it shine. So currently we're at the we made it work. I think most people out here, I've shared files with you. You shared files with me. I do most of my business, believe it or not, on the web app. I have a faster connection on my PC than I do on my mobile device. So I do most of my business on the web app, and the web app has been streamlined or humming along for quite a while. All right, our last couple pending items, just so you know. For our payments, Android is done, iOS is pending, and web app, we have to confirm the setup. And the last little nugget of client-side encryption for the web app. Those are the last two things that we have pending. And yeah, after that, we do security review and compliance checks, and then we will do rollout and acceptance sign-off. So I will say that it's been a hell of a journey. I'm very, very excited about it. It's been a long road, guys. I don't know. Most of you guys have been with us here since we started this thing. And yeah, it's very, very exciting now that we're getting into the end of it. Again, any questions, contact at sigea-cloud.io. He'll tell you everything that you need to know. So how it just seems like I keep beating this drum over and over, Bell, where I say, what does Sigea Cloud do for something like the Jackal protocol? And aside from me saying, well, we drive an immense amount of data over to it, data that we have to pay for, I'm just not sure how else I could explain this and really, really keep it interesting, Bell. So I'm more than happy to take that ride with you if you would like to. So anyway, questions?
Well, actually,
go ahead.
Yep, G Torres did have a question.
Yeah.
When will Sigea switch over from the S3s to the Jackal storage?
As of now, the S3 is the Jackal storage. S3 is a Jackal storage. I think Jackal had the foresight right away of realizing that an S3 plugin would be tremendously valuable. Now, typically, most of the S3s that you see out there all feed into AWS. In our case, the S3, because Jackal gave us an S3 plugin, we pipe the data directly to Jackal. That's what we do. Jackal does not have mobile tooling. Jackal will not have mobile tooling. It's simply not going. It's not a big priority for them, and we are not going to build that out. We're not going to build out and spend all that investment to make mobile tooling to a protocol that, although we own a percentage of, we don't own or control. I'm sure you understand that. So until Jackal stops the show on Respawn and says, fine, we'll make mobile tooling, we will always be a centralized alternative. And that's what we are, is a centralized. We're a data pipe. We're a pipeline. That's what we are. We're middleware. We're centralized middleware because we cannot make mobile devices communicate with the Jackal protocol. Jackal protocol is the only thing that we, where we want to land this, where we want to land all that data. So we are going to have to go through an S3 plugin with which Jackal built. So when they change up their tech, we will certainly come along for the ride with them. But as it sits right now, that is our pipeline to Jackal, is that S3 plugin. But it actually made it really, really interesting, and we got a lot more of that out of that BCO event, because when we were talking to all these vendors, I'll leave it on Bell for a minute, but when we were talking to all of these vendors, these are third-party vendors that service all these supply and logistics companies. And I asked every single one of them, where's your data go and how do you get it there? And any single people that brought their devs with them, they said it goes to S3 and it goes to AWS. Goes through an S3 and it goes to AWS. Now, what does that tell us? We could plug it into Jackal immediately. All we have to do is pipe a different S3 in there, route over to our S3, and it's going to Jackal as opposed to going to AWS. I cannot begin to tell you how excited I am about that. You got something to add?
Well, and one of those companies, I mean, but dash cam footage that needs to be in a forensics environment, they were definitely willing to play.
Yeah, and that's what made it really, really interesting. So this company was called Motive, and that's what they do, is dash cams. And it's actually really, really clever. They integrated AI into their dash cams, and the AI will analyze what the camera is seeing at this particular time. It'll highlight it, it'll judge it, it'll decide this is worthy, this is not worthy. It's all about the who, what, when, where, why, and how. What caused the accident? What happened? Whose fault? When did it happen? Where did it happen? How did it happen? So they actually integrated AI into this, and we were seeing the working demos of it. It's pretty cool. But they don't upload all the data. The only data that they upload is the very important data. But AWS is not a forensic environment. That's the funny thing. And once we started, explaining it to them, all of a sudden they perked up. They said, really? You guys can do this? You can offer that? I said, man, we can do this right now. So
several of the drivers who were interested in their product were also interested in that, because okay, they've heard about people, taking dash cam footage and editing it. They don't want anything to do with the system that will allow that to happen. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, AI with AI, and I'm sure you guys are coming into starting to see this now. You can do anything with anything, man. It's nothing. But it got me very, very excited for Motive because we are an ideal forensic solution for them. And because I talked to their lead dev and I said, look, man, we're going to whitelist. I'll buy 5 of your cameras. I'll put them on the dashboards of 5 drivers. It took us about, 10 seconds to find 5 guys willing to do it. And you pipe the data over to us instead of piping it over to AWS. And they perked up at that. Now, we're going to go all in. We're going to go after these guys hard because they have they signed off. 2 very large companies signed off using the Motive hardware. And one of them is called FedEx. Is that it? I don't know how that goes. FEDEX. I'm not sure what company that is. I've never heard of them.
I mean, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other one was UPS. So all the Motive cameras that are existing in operation right now, aside from the other BCOs, independents, and all that other good stuff, but they're sitting in 2 kind of big things. And they are literally tunneling that data over to AWS via an S3. We're a solution. We're a very good solution. So for this, what can we offer them? A forensic environment and cost savings. That's what we can offer them. All we have to do is prove it out. So we're going to roll out our own personal little pilot plan. Dev is going to work with our dev, make sure that we have the data from our cameras, white label cameras, piping over to us so that we can simply prove the concept. And once we prove the concept, we can come back and show them. It's like, here you go, man. We can do all of this and save you 30, I think I did the numbers kind of gorilla in my head. I can say we can save you 30%, 34% on your data costs. And I don't know if you guys know this, but video is big data. That is a lot of size. And I would love to get that deal inked and immediately pick up 155,000 clients in a single contract. I'm going to get this one. This is important to me. Anyway, carry on, Bill.
All right, Sigea fan. These are some exciting updates. Looking forward to syncing my files from my iPad, Android phone, and desktop. Glad the web app is coming along as well. Awesome.
Yeah, and that's there. And I kind of, look, man, we're launching MVP. So anybody who's tested, you have a pretty good idea of what we do already. And that's basically what you're going to get at launch. But we're trying to work out a way. We haven't found it yet, but we're kind of trying to work out a way to be able to give you an option to one-click push and migrate all of your cloud data over to Sigea Cloud. I think if we did that, a lot of our users would take advantage of that. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put this out right now as a call to action on the stream. Is this something that you would use? Would you, if we made it very, very easy for you to do, to migrate all of your external data that's on these other clouds over to Sigea Cloud, is this something that you would use? Is this something that you would take advantage of? I don't want to put a whole lot of money into development on this if there's no demand. All right, we operate in the crypto space, but we're not crypto. All right, we can't just blindly throw money at something that we suspect is a problem. If there's a demand for it, we will create the solution, but I have to know if there's a demand. So if you guys could pipe up here and chat, this is something you would use. I'll tell you, it'll go a long way for us, what we're going to be discussing on some of the rest of this going forward. Anyway, carry on, Belle.
All right, Gennady with a several-part question, and I'll take the first part. Seems like surface-level conversations with all of these potential prospects. Not quite surface level in the part of Motive, but I'll give more detail on that in a little bit.
Sure.
How do you guys plan on locking them in? Well, Gennady, I plan on actually keeping my word and having the meetings with them and buying their cameras for a select few drivers who want to use them. Okay, that's already been put out to the board of directors. Or is something not ready with the product? Jackal respawn Sigea. No, we're ready for that data. Perked up at that in a good way or a bad way? Well, in a good way.
Do you know?
I mean, again,
do you have?
Yeah, I know. I kind of went down the rabbit hole a little bit, but okay.
Keep talking, Belle. I want to cue up another song. Go ahead and keep talking.
But anyway, no, this was not surface level conversation with any of these people. Okay, the motive people not only talked with Scott for quite a while, they tracked me down the next day for follow up and even more grilling. Furthermore, to assist with making this deal, we had no less than 5 drivers willing to test out this equipment and what Sigea and Motive can do together. The information's there. It's ready to go, and these people are willing to give it a shot. So that's definitely beyond surface level conversations. Things are in motion there.
Yeah, and I will let that one spill because I'm allowed to. We did discuss it with our partners, and we're going to go ahead and proceed with the pilot program. This is way too big, and this is at our cost, just so you know. This is way too much potential to start nickel and diming this. All right, I'm not even going to hit up Motive for a vig on the cameras. All right, I'm not even going to do that. What is your list cost? That's what we'll give you on these. It's too big, and I know what we can do and what AWS cannot do. That's the biggie. I am that kind of confident in it. We have no problem pushing $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 into this just to prove the concept and then to show it to them. Because I'm not sure where they are, but I'm a very pragmatic person. And when I see it with my own eyes, I have a tendency to believe it. And because we can prove it. That's really where it comes down to. All right. Anyway, guys, look, get your questions in, get your comments. We're happy to talk about all of this stuff. Again, I'm flying high. If it sounds like I'm a little bit mellower today, been on the phone a lot and a lot of meetings, a lot of other good stuff. So I'm a little bit run in, but I'm more energized about this now than I think I've ever been. I mean, I can see the yellow brick road, and this damn thing is paved with gold. So I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, we got another song for you guys. Got to take a break. I'm going to drink a little bit of my booze and just relax the vocal cords a little bit. But we will be right back here on the podcast on the KPOD network. Please stand by.
My boots hit the gravel, the night hit my skin, a whiskey moon howling, where do I begin? These hills, they don't whisper, they scream where I've been. My home is Tennessee, where the rivers cut deep, set the sinners free. My home is Tennessee, where the ghosts still sing and the roots hold me. The cicadas keep time, the stars never lie, that lonesome pine knows every tear I cry. I left, I came back, you can't tell me why. The dirt here clings, it don't let go, a place that burns but heals your soul. My home is Tennessee, where the rivers cut deep, set the sinners free. My home is Tennessee, where the ghosts still sing and the roots hold me. As ashes in the fields and a church on fire. A hymn in the wind carried higher and higher. It's broken, it's whole, it's all I desire.
Not like that, and baby. So play. English way, hey here, dude.
Yeah, that's enough of that. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, G. Torres, Nuclear Chicken, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you. So, yeah, by the way, any of the songs that you hear on this show from now until the end of the show, by the way, we've, Belle and I talked about this last night. We have our very last show already worked out. And I think it'll be, I think you'll enjoy it. You're going to want to tune into this. We can't give you a date for it yet, but I got a hunch you're going to. I got a hunch you're gonna start to figure out when that'll occur. But yeah, all of the songs that you're gonna hear on this channel from now or until forever, they're all available on the KPOD label. Now, to get any of these songs, all you have to do is test Sigea for us. Every single song that you're hearing right now is being played directly from Sigea. They're all uploaded on my account. I own them. They're mine. So I'm more than happy to just let me know who, if you want them, just send me a message or send Bell or something like that. And all we need is your Sigea user ID. We'll send them over to you. No problem. I have no particular issue with this because they're all AI generated anyway. But yeah, that was kind of the funny. We had a giggle about this. We reinvented Napster, but an actual Napster that is unbreakable. That is unstoppable. There's nothing you could do to ever take this down because of the decentralized nature of our particular network. So there is no entity to attack. There is nobody to serve. There's nothing you can do. Pandora's box is open now. And once you open it up, you're simply never, ever going to close it again. So yeah, we're with all of the stuff that we do have going on. Motive is a big one for me, by the way, guys. I'm spending a lot of time whining and dining these guys. We got to get this one, man. This is a huge account. I mean, this is massive. It's kind of interesting because we were looking at the storage available on the Jackal network, and I know I've posted this out before. I'm going to say it again. I think the most valuable entity in crypto, the most valuable thing that's going to exist out here, at least in the Cosmos ecosystem, is going to be Jackal storage providers, because when the data starts to flow, you guys will never, ever be able to keep up with the amount of data that we can generate. We know this. We are very well aware of this. You don't even have to buy the goddamn Jackal token. Stand up storage providers on the Jackal network, and I promise you we're going to fill up that data. If you need got any questions about how to do that, the Jackal Discord is open. They'll walk you through, man. They're going to need petabytes. I don't even think petabytes is going to be able to solve this. Imagine if we land Motive. Imagine if we land that one. And suddenly we're sending over video data from 150,000 active drivers. That's never going to stop. As long as those trucks are rolling, data is going to be flowing in. Imagine how much is going to be required to maintain this network. It's going to be very, very interesting. But we're also not resting on our laurels. We don't have our feather in just one cap. We're putting it in everything. So we're probably going to be out of town next week. Is it next week, Belle? Something I don't know the dates.
Yeah, next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at minimum.
Yeah, and it might extend over a little bit because we're hitting the Small Business Expo. That's going to be occurring in somewhere in Nevada. You guys could probably figure out the where. That is solid gold landscape to us. That is where we need to set. We do not have to land every single big account that's out there if we land a good portion of the small accounts that are out there. And what makes that really, really interesting to me and what gets me excited about that is we get a twofer. Every one of these accounts, we get a twofer. We get visibility on what we can do on the enterprise side, and it's very, very easy for me to hold out my phone with the barcode and say, would you like to try the app? Scan here. There you go. You're trying the app. Welcome to Sigea Cloud. And because of the way that we design this, because of the way that our ecosystem functions, it only works if you are also in the ecosystem. That's why we built the app so user-friendly. That's why we don't put out tutorials, because you don't need them. That's why we did what we did, because we're literally using the Dropbox model. And the Dropbox model was able to gain 6,800% growth in their second year. I don't even know what they did in the first year, but in the second year, their growth of 6,800% simply through referrals. And what I mean by referrals is that if you want to use Dropbox for anything, and I'm sure some of you guys out there have, you understand that both sides of you have to be on Dropbox. We don't have to reinvent every single wheel simply because we're blockchain. Some of these wheels are perfectly functional the way that they are. And when it comes to business models and particularly distribution, they nailed it. They already taught us how to do it. All we're going to do is pick up on that and piggyback on it with a better product. Innovation is absolutely driven by competition. We're the competition. And you guys are seeing our innovation. But all of these small business expos, these are people that have small companies, small businesses that are just trying to get the word out. We need to land them now. We need to get them on board now. We need to solve the problems that they don't know that they have, and we need to solve them now. Not because I care that they only have 4 people in their company, but because their growth is our growth. If they do happen to hit a home run, we get the tertiary blowback from that because suddenly they are sending us so much more data. They are onboarding so many people that all become Sigea Cloud customers. This is how you onboard. Web3 doesn't think this way. Web3 thinks that the value is in the tokens. Sigea Cloud, Jackal, a cache, render, all of the infra thinks that the value is in the consumers. And they're all right. All we had to do is present them an easy solution to a problem that they have. And that's what they did. But these small business expos, and we're going to be hitting a lot of these, are absolutely imperative for app growth and for enterprise growth. We're 1,000,000,000% right about this. We don't need penthouses. We don't need boat trips. We don't need any of those things. All we need to know are where the people are. And then we're going to go ahead and go after them. We got the business cards. We got one lines. We have pitch decks. We have QR codes. We have everything to spread this far and wide. And every single person that I convince to put my app on their phone is a potential 10x for us, because I'm sure that person knows 10 other people. That's our method. I just gave you our marketing method. That's it. And I would love somebody to compete against us because, again, competition is good for innovation. I'd love to know what they dream up to see if we can make it a little bit better. But I am very, very supremely confident that this is the way to do it. It sucks. We got to be out on the road. I don't like being on the road. I'd rather be here in the studio talking to you guys. But there is no other way to do this. This is the way to do this. You cannot sell privacy products over the phone. Anybody picks up. I don't even answer calls from numbers that I don't recognize, period. You cannot sell privacy over the phone because who the hell are you? I don't know you. It's a little bit different when I'm standing there right in front of you, shaking your hand. You can ask me anything. It's a lot easier to sell privacy that way, and that's what we're doing. Belle, questions, please.
All right. So, Nico J, here the main telephone providers have been hacked, releasing the data of millions of users into the wild. This is a serious problem because we can no longer trust any company with our data, while at the same time, they're asking for more and more information about their customers. Do you think your solution, Sigea, could be easily implemented for this type of company?
Sure. But you guys got to remember, these types of companies don't want a solution like Sigea. They simply do not want us in there, because if they bring us in there and say, yeah, we solved the problem, we're good to go, at that point, they would have to admit that they bricked it for 10, 15, 20 years, that they simply would not acknowledge that there was a problem. So I don't expect that kind of market penetration. I'm a realist here. I don't expect that kind of market penetration. Are we a solution for them? We're the ideal solution for them. We are a turnkey solution for them. We don't need anything. We are just going to roll in there and we will take care of you. But they would have to admit at that time to everybody and all of their customers that we had a problem, we blew it. We're a trustworthy company, even though all we did was expose your data over and over and over. So while I appreciate that, yes, we are a perfect solution for them, I'm under no illusion that they would actually talk to us, because we're the type of company that holds a mirror up to them and says, this is where you fucked up. And nobody wants to look into that mirror. Our trajectory coming out of this are people that don't know that they have a problem, people that are simply trying to sell products, grow businesses, and get them out, because that's our trajectory. That's where we need to go. We're going to go after the whales. We're going to go after the big dogs. You bet your ass we are. But we're not going to limit ourselves to only this guy or this guy or this guy, man. We're going after everybody. If this telecom company would like to talk to us, fuck, Scott@thepodcast.com. I would love to have that conversation. Tell me what your problem is, and I will tell you if we're a solution for it, just like that. But I don't expect my phone to start ringing off the hook on that one. Anyway, carry on, Bill.
I am gonna make a point regarding that one.
Please.
Sigea is applicable through multiple industries, okay, multiple companies. So whether that be telecommunications, logistics, entertainment platforms, Sigea can apply to all of them. Now, there would have to be some to prevent cross-contamination of data, which isn't gonna happen, but just keep that possibility off the table. These companies would actually have to have their own unique front end as well, but they would be using our back end.
Yeah. And
we would that's where the fun part comes in.
Yeah, and we bifurcate everything. We're for all intents and standards, we're a HIPAA compliant network right now. By the way that we are built out, by the way that we're scaling out, we are a HIPAA compliant network. So that means we have to bifurcate data. And you know what? Doesn't matter. Let's just say, yes, we could absolutely take care of them. There will never be a massive data breach on the Sigea Cloud Network because it's not possible. It is just not possible. Not the way we are bifurcated. It would never happen. Belle, carry on, please.
Sigea fan, I was planning on copying all the data, about 800 gigabytes, that is on another cloud provider over to Sigea as soon as it is ready for syncing live between all of my services and replace my current cloud.
Yeah, so I'm going to take that as a thumbs up. Did anybody else happen to mention, yes, I would like something like that, Belle? Or am I just talking to the ethers right now? I'm curious. You know, I don't even know if anybody's watching.
I think that's where Gennady did retract the question, but anyway, I think that's where Gennady was asking. I'm still curious about what Scott was asking about, the thing he was trying to figure out if there is demand for it or not.
Migrating data from existing cloud services over to Sigea Cloud. Right now, the only option you have is to do it manually. That's it. That's the only option that you have. If there's demand for us to automate it on your behalf, then we will put development dollars into making sure that that happens. But we're also kind of a for-profit business, so I want to make sure that there's enough demand for me to justify the spend. We're on a shoestring budget here, guys. We're funded, but you can't spend money stupidly. We operate in the blockchain world, but we are not a crypto company, so we can't just simply willy-nilly piss money away because it seems like a neat idea. We can't do that. We have to make sure that there's demand so that we can get ROI on the spends. We don't need it all back immediately. If we can get it back in 2 years, fine. I justify the spend. After 2 years, it's all gravy. But we have to be incredibly surgical with our spends. What are we developing and why are we developing it? This is another thing that blockchain simply never, or crypto in general, never really asks. Why are we doing this? And anyway, go ahead. Carry on, Bill.
All right. So, Gennady, why do we need them to, and I'll actually handle this one. Why do we need them to admit they were bricking it? Just don't mention it. Or rephrase it and don't make it look like it was their fault. Say you have a blind spot you may not be aware of. We can help you fix it. No need to be vindictive or shame them. Gennady, I actually agree with that sentiment. When we went to the BCO conference, what got the attention of a lot of the people we spoke to, and again, we were flat out asked about ransomware attacks. When I dropped this statement, I don't want what happened to JBS to happen to you guys. That caught their attention. That is an industry-wide vulnerability. They're all aware of it. They just don't know how to fix it. And that same vulnerability is, again, applicable across pretty much every industry. That's the point of view I take. And actually, Scott does well. He does not come after them in any kind of condescending way whatsoever. So your point is very, very valid. We do actually have our pitch laid out. That way it is effective, but positive.
Yeah, man. Look, I don't go after you saying that you're fucked up. I don't care. All right. I don't care what you did. It's from a PR standpoint, it's very easy to say the tech did not exist at the time that we came into existence. It exists now and we're implementing it. It's very, very simple. People have been, tech industry has been doing this for a very long time. So no, look, man, my name is Scott. Scott Pottigill. I'm Chief Operating Officer of Sigea Cloud Labs. This is what we do. I have a 10-second pitch. I simply lay it out. And I come and just happen to mention, do you have any concerns to your infrastructure, your IT stack? Is there anything that's bothering you, anything that keeps you up at night? And then I listen. I spend an awful lot of time listening. The greatest value that we can have, particularly when we are front-facing sales the way we are right now, is just simply listen to your concerns. If I can fix them, I will tell you, we can take care of this. If I can't fix them, meaning that it's well out of our scope, I don't offer a solution because clearly one doesn't exist yet. But I even listen to the solutions that we don't provide to see if it's possible that we can provide them. I want everybody's data because privacy is a fundamental human right. I want to make sure people have it. That's both consumers, that's enterprise, that's everybody. We have too much government in our life. Let's go ahead and we have too much government and too much big tech in our life. We are simply an alternative for that. So no, I understand where you're going with that, bro. Trust me, I got my sales down. I'm pretty well good to go on that one. Anyway, carry on, Belle.
All right, Gennady. By manually, do you mean dragging and dropping all of the files individually? What does the process look like?
Process looks like that. Are you not testing the app, bro? Have you not downloaded it? Contact at sigea-io if you're iOS. If you're Android, I posted some QR codes, man. Just scan the QR code. Boom. Welcome to Sigea. It's not that hard. Manually is that you pull all of your data back from your existing cloud and then you upload it over to Sigea Cloud. That's what I mean by manual. What I'm trying to decide and figure out is that if we need to make some surgical spends to automate that process on your behalf. If there's interest in it, we will make it happen. If we can see that, yes, we will get our money back by making everybody's life a little bit easier, then we will go ahead and make that investment. But if there's no interest in it, I'm not just going to throw, I'm not going to make it rain just to say, hey, look how cool we are. I need to make sure that there's interest in this. I don't know your situation, bro. I don't know your life. I don't know any of these things. But what would manual look like? Pulling it all back. By the way, it never disappears. Once it hit iCloud, they have a copy of it forever. Once it hits Amazon, Azure, anything, they have a copy of it forever. I built the goddamn data centers. All right. I know what they do with the data. It seems like I've said that a time or two. Manual is you take care of your own data and you send it up to us. If you would prefer an automated way of doing that, we will provide that automated way of doing that. But we have to make sure that there's interest. Carry on, Belle.
All right, G. Torres. Make an X survey to see how iPhone users would like that feature for their iCloud. I feel like iPhone users use the cloud a lot more than Android users.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. I'll tell you what, Sofa, if you're listening right now, man, prep me up something up there, send it over to me, and let me and Belle have a look and make sure that it's okay, and let's go ahead and get that posted. I'm with you on that, man. Look, let's see what the customers want. If they don't care, then it's not worth the spend on our part. If they do care, then it is absolutely worth the spend on our part because we want happy consumers. Isn't that weird? Again, this is something that we do that blockchain doesn't do. We simply ask you what you want. What do you need to use our product? This is what you need. Fuck it. We're absolutely going to provide it, man. That's it. It's funny. It's business. It's weird how that works. Carry on, Belle.
To be honest, yeah, when when we were first starting to talk about apps to build, I wanted to go ahead and jump headlong into the medical records software applications. I knew that was going to have to contain both a mobile and a PC component. But the users during Jackal Town Hall were flat out demanding, okay, we need Jackal storage on mobile. I mean, we're not at our desks very much. There was more demand for that than there is for a medical record storage platform. So we switched gears and started with mobile.
Yeah, and I fully agree with that. That was my position before we even started. Me and Belle fought a lot about this. That was my position. Everybody's got their phone on them virtually all the time. I mean, you don't even go to the bathroom without your phone. Show of hands. How many of you guys go ahead and do your bathroom business that you don't have your phone with you? Don't lie. All right, we all know the truth. I would just like to see who will own up to it.
I don't go to the potty with my phone on me. That is the one place I get left alone.
Nope,
so
that's my
you're going to be waiting.
Nope, that's my gaming time, and that's my stinker tinker time. That's when I set my fantasy lineup and all that other good stuff is when I'm sitting there bored. I don't keep magazines in the bathroom anymore. I don't think anybody does that. We have the world of the internet at our fingers, and it's in mobile form. So that's just anyway, that's kind of my argument, is that most people have their phones on them effectively 24/7 365, but you're not on your computer 24/7 365. Every single time that you take a picture, I want that data. All right, when you're on vacation, you take that picture, I want that data. And when you are out and shooting a little fun video, I want that data. We wanted to provide you an avenue to be able to make sure that that stuff stays nice and quiet and personal, and that you're the only people who see it. That was my idea. That was our idea. That's what we ran with. Now, we need all these base layers because we are going after medical. One of our biz dev guys is very, very well positioned in the medical industry, and he's literally telling us, yeah, do this. We are doing that, but we're doing it in baby steps. So you guys are getting the first baby steps, but eventually this is going to end up in the medical world, and it's going to end up everywhere. But, you don't have to worry about it because the medical industry, it's not very large. There's not a lot of money over there. Yes, yeah, I know. Go ahead and carry on, Bill.
Yeah, again, circling back. Okay, I have a hard enough time with with the little ferret Wesley leaving me alone when I am in the bathroom. I am not going to take my phone in there and get disturbed even more. So
I don't
no,
understand.
you're wrong.
How do you set your lineup? Is this why you're what are you, Bill? 1 and 2? Is that why you're 1 and 2? Because I mean, it's clear that I'm doing it right because I am the league champion, and I am 3 and 0 this year, and my lineup is not that strong. I just, when you got some stinker tinker time, you can set a good lineup, and clearly it's working out for me. Why would you start Bo Nix, Bill? Why? Why would you start Bo Nix? It doesn't matter. That's a sidebar. Anyway, Bill, I can see that we're at time, so go ahead. Whatever we got left, go ahead and fire them out. Lightning round style.
Nico J, in the case of telephone operators, this information was made public in France and many users took legal action.
Yeah, and are we a solution for it? Yeah, we're a turnkey solution for it. It's why we built what we built the way we did it. The way we built it, because we want to be a turnkey solution to it. When by the time these enterprise companies realize that they have a big problem, they don't want to wait 6 months for the solution. They want it right this second. We're ready right now. I told you guys, and I told you this months ago, our enterprise was going to be off and rolling long before our consumer was off and rolling. I'm not asking you to read between the lines. I am fucking spoon feeding this out to you right now. Anyway, go ahead, carry on, Bill.
Well, and again, I mean, we are waiting on legal paperwork to come back. That way we can get our app listed on the Android and App Store. Okay, that is a priority. However, we don't need that paperwork in to be able to handle private enterprise business.
Yep, that's why.
That's one reason we flat out said months ago we were gonna start with enterprise first.
Mm-hmm. Carry on, Bill.
All right, Nico J, will your long-term solution enable real-time database security? Does Jackal's technology allow this?
Probably not us, not the way that we're designed and built out right now. However, if you do need database security, let me tell you about Respawn. It's all there, guys. Do you not see this? Does nobody see it yet? Do you guys, are you not putting together the puzzle? Let me tell you about all of the solutions that are simply available right this second. Ready to roll right this second. Some of them are already rolling right this second. It's right there. But you know what? Trade meme tokens. I don't care. Go ahead, Belle.
Well, again, that was the last question. I am going to make one more point.
Good, and then talk us out.
I said about 3 years ago, when we first started building our app, okay, that we were not going to focus exclusively on going to crypto conferences to market our app.
Nope.
Any of them.
Nope.
I did flat out state, and I had the support of my co-founder, Scott. I had the support of, the rest of our board of directors, that our focus needed to be on Web 2 events because we can't introduce Web 3 tech into a Web 2 world just online. We have got to have those face-to-faces. So if we do start having to go off air more often for events, we are doing what we've said we're gonna do from the very beginning. Again, and I know this is a lot of thought. I know that you kind of have to wrap your heads around it. There is some great tech in Web 3. Unfortunately, nobody really knows how to present that to a Web 2 audience. That's what we are trying to do. That's where our effort is going, because we do believe that there is a flywheel effect. Okay, people purchase storage through Sigea Cloud. A portion of that revenue goes to buy Jackal tokens. A portion of that revenue goes to use space on Akash servers. Okay, as we outpace Akash, okay, that portion of revenue that was going to Akash goes over to Render, goes over to Anchor. It's a flywheel effect. We are trying to make a difference and trying to make things more secure for everybody. And I really hope that people understand what we are trying to do and do continue supporting us in that mission.
Maybe not. We'll find out long term. Anyway, get us out of here, Belle.
All right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who joined us this evening, we cannot say thank you guys enough. We do appreciate each and every one of you guys and the comments and questions you send our way. Now, with that being said, Scott and I were planning on being live again tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Yeah, I don't know if Scott's still planning on that, but yeah, that's on the books. If not, then we will be back on Thursday night at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. In between now and our next show, if you guys have any other comments, questions, or concerns, definitely don't hesitate to reach out to either Scott or myself, Scott@thepodcast.com or Bella@thepodcast.com, and we'll get those answered for you. Again, we can't thank you enough, guys, and we'll see you next time.